So hello, this is my book review for the novel A Night. My name is Josh Lizarzabiru, and I'm in group 52, I think. Anyway, the summary. For the summary, this is kind of a like a biography, I guess you could say it, documentation of real events from a point of view of back then he was little, uh, Elijah or Eli, and like kind of the main the events that led to him being transported with his dad and his whole family to Auschwitz and Auschwitz too, um, and at the end of the book you realize that it was more a story of the journey of him and his dad through the concentration camp, battling like life and death and stuff like that, and like the day to day, what was it like, um, things that he remembers. And at the end of the book, when the father dies, you realize that it was more a story of him and his dad, because when his father dies, spoiler alert, he kind of skips what happens to him next, and like fast forwards to when he was really free, and we don't know. He doesn't want to talk about the part when he doesn't have his dad anymore, because it wasn't like important to him. His dad was his whole like life at that point, that his only family at that point, that didn't matter what happened to him after his father died, because he had nothing to live for. So that's a very like um thing you realize at the end of the book. um what rating would I give this novel? I liked this story, because normally the stories that I've like learned or read about the Second World War mainly talks about at the beginning, like since the beginning of the World War, this happened and this happened. But this book kind of begins at the middle. It begins at 1942, I think, and it goes to the end of the war, and it doesn't focus on the war part. It focuses on him and what he saw and felt. It's not about like really. It's not really about documenting events, or not as much as a story as for the book Thief, for example. It's more about like something that he doesn't want people to forget, and something that he wants to immortalize. He wants maybe to immortalize his dad also, because um he talks about more the aspect of family in the concentration camp that was very rare, and I think it's not much talked about. um and yeah, I think it was pretty good. And it was kind of original, so I appreciated it a lot. So for the reflection, which scene has stuck with you the most? I think the scene that stuck with me the most is the scene where there's an air raid, and the whole soldiers, every soldier is in the bunker, the SS bunker, so they don't get like exploded with the bombs. So a prisoner from Auschwitz decides to make a run for it, and tries to steal a whole casserole full of soup because he was so hungry. And the main character describes like the whole scene of him crawling and everybody crawling, but him getting to the soup first and then getting killed. It made me think of a movie called The Empire of the Sun, which has a similar kind of scene, I guess. It reminded me of I couldn't stop picturing that movie, because it's an excellent movie. If you haven't watched it, I really recommended it. I don't know, it made me remember that movie that was with Christopher Nolan and a bunch of other people, Ben Stiller also. Um, but let's go back to the book. So, Yeah, I think that scene stuck to me with me the most. It was like the most dramatic and maybe the most movie like, if you can say that. Um, so on to the next. What surprised you the most about the book? What surprised me about the book? Mm, maybe I think I don't know, something that surprised me. I would surprised me. Maybe I thought that the main character and the dad were gonna stay on the hospital, because yeah, I think, oh no, I mean, the thing that surprised me the most is that when the father was offered help from a German friend, before going to Auschwitz, they were in like a little like hotel. It's not a hotel, but like a little room before going to Auschwitz, um, where they had a German friend. The German friend was like, "Yeah, I have a room for you and your family. You can hide in there, and we can like protect you." And the dad didn't want to, and neither the son. And I was like, kind of, I don't know. It took me by surprise. Um, how did it impact you? Do you think you'll remember in a few years or months? I mean, the amount of projects that we have to do with this book, I think I'm gonna remember it for a for a while. Maybe not as something that stuck. I don't think it's gonna stick with me for a whole, maybe not a year, but I think I'm gonna remember this book as a book that I read on high school. Not nothing special, I guess. Did the book strike you as original? As I said earlier, I think it was kind of original. It doesn't begin at the beginning, it begins at the middle, 1942, and it doesn't end. Maybe it doesn't end like you'd want it to end, I guess, because the father dies, and you don't get to see how he manages to get like be free. He only describes like the end with his dad, and that's the whole point of the book, I guess. Yeah, he explains a little bit what happened after, but not in great detail, so you don't get the satisfaction of the end result of the story of the whole journey. You just get a sad death, I guess. Um, what was your favorite and least favorite part of the book? My favorite part of the book, um, I think it was when he met um, the French nurse years later in. I don't remember if it was a French nurse, but the nurse that didn't speak the same language as him, and he met her in a train, if I remember, in a subway or something like that, years later. And I mean, what are the odds of that? Really, I really like that. And what was the least favorite part of the book? Um, I think the beginning was pretty slow. Actually, I thought it was gonna go in another direction. And after finishing the book, I think that the beginning was kind of useless and a little bit. Um, so what's next? Did reading the book impact your mood? If yes, how so? Um, Maybe when he describes the father, when he talks about the father's death, it was really sad. Um, because I would hate to like live that experience with my dad. And yeah, the dad not being able to do some stuff because he was so weak and stuff. Really, really made me think about my dad, because it's a long story. But yeah, I think it made me sad a little bit, that the end of his life, I guess. Um, how did your opinion of the book change as you read it? At the beginning of the book, I thought he was going to talk about something else. I thought I didn't think he was gonna be talking a lot about the concentration camp. But turns out like he did. I thought the book was gonna talk about Moise the Beetle. I thought the whole book was about Moise the Beetle, but no. so so I was like kind of disappointed, I guess, because I wanted to know more about him. But at the end, it was fine, I guess. I didn't change much apart that. So if you could ask that author anything, what would it be? I don't know because he's dead. But I don't know. Maybe does he regret not being able to help his dad further, or I don't know, something about his dad. I guess I don't want to think about it too much. Is this book overrated or underrated? Mm, I think it's good. It's good where it is. I don't think it's over or under. Um, it's perfectly rated. And did this book remind you of any other book? No, but as I told you earlier, it made me think about the movie Empire of the Sun. You should watch it. Came out in the 70s, I think. You get to see Christopher Nolan as a kid. That's very rare because Christopher Nolan is always old in every in every movie. And yeah, the endorsements. What would you want to read another book by this author? No, because I honestly I think I've had enough for a while about World War II books. Every year you get to read one, and maybe take a little break wouldn't be bad. Um, and I don't know if this author talks has made books about other subjects, but take wild guess and say maybe that he talks about World War II. So maybe not. Who would you recommend this novel to? Explain. Maybe my brother, I guess. I'm not sure. I don't know people that are passionate about Second World War books or Holocaust books. Except my brother isn't also he's just an avid reader. He reads a lot, so I guess him. But I don't think anybody else. Maybe my mom, because maybe she likes it. She likes. I'm not sure if she even knows a lot about the Holocaust, and I don't know. And yeah, thank you. I guess it was a little long, so thank you and goodbye. Good night.